Hey everyone, Dave Brown here with the New Populist. If you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe. Now, everyone's talking about this comment from Joe Biden that the death of George Floyd was more impactful than the assassination of Martin Luther King. And the general consensus has been that Joe Biden is an idiot, and what the hell did he just say this for? And I have a slightly different take. Let's think about this for a second. If we're looking at exactly what he said, the death of George Floyd having more impact than the assassination of Martin Luther King, from that angle, he might be right. Now, remember, we're not talking about life works. Obviously, the life works of Martin Luther King have an immense impact, far greater than anything involving George Floyd. But just to that point, the death, he actually has somewhat of a point. Now, the issue here, though, is usually politicians understand optics. And even if you have somewhat of a point, you don't say it because, frankly, and excuse my language, saying this kind of makes you look like an asshole. And that's how Joe Biden came off when he said it. But looking at what he said and trying to really weigh if there was merit to it, let's think about this for a second. Now, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, April 4th of 1968, 7 days later, they passed the Civil Rights Act. And yes, his death or his assassination may have impacted the speed in which it was enacted and signed into law. So yes, from that point, there was an impact from his assassination on our country. And obviously not just legislation, but the entire mood of our country, absolutely. But look at what happened with George Floyd's death. It kicked off almost 6 months, and probably longer than that, of riots across the entire country. Now, what this really points out is not that his death was important. What it really represents is the power the left has with the media, the Democrats, and social media to create narratives and to create movements. So this really proves the power that they now have to create propaganda and to enact this propaganda at a nationwide scale. And unfortunately, that is an immense amount of power that they do have. And it's funny we talk about, this impact of George Floyd, because I am the co-author of a book called Black and White, How the Left is Destroying the Dream of Martin Luther King and Our Founding Fathers. Now, the funny thing is, I started writing this book in May of 2020, before the death of George Floyd. And think about that title, The Left is Destroying the Dream of Martin Luther King and Our Founding Fathers. And then we have the death of George Floyd. And now we have Joe Biden saying the death of George Floyd was more impactful than the assassination of Martin Luther King. It kind of makes my point. We have elevated a drug addict felon to the same sort of stratosphere, same sort of place as Martin Luther King and our founding fathers. So it makes my point. The left is destroying the dream of Martin Luther King and our founding fathers, and the death of George Floyd just proves that 10 times over. So here we are, more divided than ever. We have safe spaces for Black people, Black separatism. We are trying to give out medicine based on race. If you're a certain race and you need monoclonal antibodies, they say go away. They're reserved for Black people. So the whole death of George Floyd and everything that came after it really proves my point. The left is destroying the dream of Martin Luther King and our founding fathers. And from that point, yes, Joe Biden is correct. The death of George Floyd has been more impactful than the assassination of Martin Luther King. And that is profoundly sad that that is the case. And that is the fault of the left. Well, that's it for now. Again, if you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.